Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hoge, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
Hi, I'm AJ Hoge, and this is the Effortless English Show, the show that teaches you to speak English powerfully. Let's get started. I just got off the phone with my mom, and she sounded a little strange. So I'm talking to her on the phone, but her voice was a little strange, and I got worried. Of course I'm worried. Hopefully everything's okay. Oh my God, Mom, are you all right? And actually, there was a problem, a kind of strange problem, which she told me about. So she told me that she just got back from having her hair washed. And she paused for a second, I'm thinking, well, okay, what's the big deal? Your hair was washed, okay? And then she told me, well, it's because she had lice in her hair. She had to have a special chemical shampoo to kill the lice. What are lice? Lice are these little bugs. They're little bugs, they're like fleas for human beings. And then she told me that she had lots of them, like that her head was itching for a few days, and she didn't know why, and she looked in the mirror, but she couldn't see anything. So she wasn't sure. She thought maybe she had just dry skin in her hair. But then she talked to my sister. And my sister told her, I don't know what's wrong, but Bradford, who's my sister's little boy, he's scratching his head. And we think he has these little black things in his hair. And then, of course, they finally figured out, oh my God, Bradford, the little boy, had lice. So then my mom came over to their house, and my sister checked her hair, and she had all the little bugs in her hair. Yeah, yuck. And they're all crawling around on her head. So my sister's like, yuck. Right? Of course, my mom's kind of freaking out. Oh my God, yuck, disgusting. So then, of course, they start checking all of the other kids, because my sister has 5 children. They all had the little bugs in their hair. Horrible. So, of course, they run to the store to buy the special chemical stuff, and they start doing research online, and they went to a doctor and talked to the doctor. And it's actually very tough to get rid of lice. It's horrible. So that, to get rid of the lice, you have to, first of all, they had to get them out of their hair. So they got this special chemical shampoo. They're using that for the boys. They have 4 boys, so they just shave their heads for the little boys. And for the girl and everyone else, they had to, wash with this special chemical shampoo. Disgusting, but that's not all, because these little guys, these little bugs, they lay eggs. So even though if you kill them in your hair, the problem is there might be some eggs on the pillows, or in the carpet, or on the furniture, so that you might kill them, but then they'll just jump back on you again from the pillow or the bed or the carpet or something, and then they start to lay more eggs, and then they multiply again. And then they spread. And of course, if the children go to school, then they can give the little bugs, the lice, to other children in the class. And then those children go home, they can give it to their brothers and sisters and their parents. And it spreads. This is called a contagion in medicine for like an infection. They call this a contagion. It's the noun, it's a thing, something that will infect people and spread. It will spread. Like a virus can do this, right? A virus could do this. If someone has the flu, some kind of infection in their nose, they sneeze, achoo, and then it goes out to everybody. They catch it, they sneeze, achoo, and then it spreads and spreads and spreads. So to get rid of these lice, it's actually a really big job. So not only do they have to wash their hair, they shave the boys' heads. Then their whole house, they have to do this special cleaning, steam cleaning their house. So it's a special, very high temperature steam, and they clean the carpets and the rugs and even the furniture. For their pillows they sleep on, they just threw them away, threw them in the trash and bought new pillows. And then, even worse, even though their hair, they kill the lice, there still can be eggs in the hair. And they can hatch, right, open again, and the new ones come. So then they have to go through with a special comb and take out all of the eggs from everybody's hair. This is very, very detailed, long process to stop the contagion. Now, the adjective is contagious. Contagious. Something that spreads like that is contagious. Now, lice, usually when we say contagious, we're talking about a bacteria or a virus. Not really like a bug, but it's the same kind of idea. Something that spreads like that. You might wonder, what does this have to do with English? Well, as I thought about my mom and my sister in this story, I thought back to English classes I have seen or online programs I have seen. And especially the online programs, I've noticed that there is a kind of mental contagion. And that is a kind of negativity. For example, I used to ride a motorcycle, right? And, I joined a forum, an online forum, this kind of online members forum for motorcycle riders. This was several years ago. I don't ride motorcycles now, but at that time I did. And I wanted to just get on there and learn about different motorcycles, maybe get some ideas for, safety gear, how to be a better rider, maybe find some people to ride with in my area here in San Francisco. So I got on there and I start reading through and looking for some, nice information, friendly people. And then what I noticed is that there was, in this one forum, a negative comment. Someone mentioned a motorcycle, let's say a Harley Davidson. I don't remember the exact one. But then another person got on and said, Harleys suck. Harleys suck. People who ride Harleys are idiots. Right? Just very insulting. So guess what happened next? Over the next, weeks, days and weeks, this one negative person managed to basically destroy this community because the Harley owners, of course, they got on and they insulted this person back. They said, you're an idiot. Harleys are great. They're great motorcycles. Shut up. And then this guy, he replied back, no, you guys are a bunch of rednecks. It means like a stupid person from the country. And so they started going back and forth, fighting and insulting, and then more people started joining in. It became this great big argument between people who liked Harley Davidson motorcycles and people who liked the fast Japanese motorcycles. And all of the interesting, positive information just disappeared, and this whole forum just filled up with all of these insults and arguments between these various groups. And I realized it was like the lice, right? It's this one negative person. Online we call them trolls. It's a slang. A troll is someone who just comes to a website and they try to start fights. They write insults. They try to argue. They love to directly insult people or make rude comments, that kind of stuff. And I watched this motorcycle forum become destroyed by this one person, right? They brought their negative intentions into the group. And then they insulted one other person, and that got them angry. They became very negative and started arguing with the troll. And then other people started coming in, and it just multiplied like it was like a virus or a bacteria or like the lice. It spread through the whole forum. And eventually the forum became fairly useless. So it's like a contagion, contagious. The negative thoughts, the negative attitude spread through and destroyed the whole community. And then I stopped going to it. I don't want to read a bunch of insults. I was looking for, positive people who liked riding their motorcycle. Didn't care about what kind they were riding. When you look for an English class, an English community, even just a conversation partner to practice your English with, you must be very, very careful. Because this kind of mental contagion, this negativity, it's like a mental virus. And if you join a class, for example, an English class, that has even just one or two negative people, might be the teacher, might just be one or two students. But if you do that, that negative energy can very quickly spread like a virus to other people in the class until the whole classroom can develop this kind of negative or competitive or lazy attitude. It depends. I've seen this in my English teaching career many times. A class seems to start quite good, with good positive energy. People seem motivated. But then one or two just kind of negative, bad students start to turn the whole energy of the class. Maybe it's a lazy student, just doesn't want to do anything, this kind of bad attitude. And then they get their friends doing it. And then they kind of spread that energy, and then the whole class can then start losing their motivation and becoming kind of lazy. Or maybe they become insulting and rude or negative. And then this can affect you. If you join a class like that, maybe you join, you're feeling great about English, but by the end of the class, after a few months, your motivation will drop, your energy will drop. Your enjoyment of English will go down. And I know you and maybe others have seen this happen in school. At some time in your life, you probably saw this. Maybe the teacher wasn't strong enough to keep the class positive and energetic. And so just a few negative students, a few negative people could bring down the whole class. Online, it's even more dangerous. As I described with the motorcycle group, the motorcycle forum, it's so much easier online for a negative or rude person to come in and completely destroy a community. And it's the same with a conversation partner. If you get someone who's a little negative, someone who corrects your errors all the time, they can little by little destroy your confidence with English, with speaking. And this is why it is so important. You must be so careful when you choose a teacher, a class, an online English group, or even a conversation partner. You must be careful. You don't want any kind of negative energy, rudeness, laziness, weakness. You've got to look for that. And if you see it, run. Go the other direction. Find a different group. Find a different person. I'll come back with a few more comments about that. But first, why don't we change and talk a little bit about our own wonderful community? Because I work very, very hard as the leader of the Effortless English family to protect our group. Because I know about this contagion effect, that a negative person, a troll, a rude person can come in and destroy and create all this negativity. My job, I'm the defender, and I work very hard to keep that out of our international family so that our family, our group, is positive, encouraging. We follow a code. We help each other. We support each other. We are friendly. So you know when you connect with other Effortless English members online, face-to-face, you know they're positive. You know they're friendly. You can relax. They're not going to say bad things to you about your English. They're not going to laugh about your mistakes. They're not going to argue with you about politics or religion. You know this is a safe, friendly, fun, super positive community where you can just relax and enjoy speaking and learning English. Now, speaking of that, a few months ago, I was in Barcelona. We had a small meeting of VIP members, and I just want to share a few pictures with you just to show you what we did and discuss a little bit about these wonderful people. It was such a great opportunity to connect face to face. I love doing this show with you, and it's great that we have an international community online. The internet's fantastic. We can make friends around the world. You can learn English with me from anywhere. It's great. But it's even more special when we meet face-to-face. And when I travel, I love meeting students and Effortless English members and fans. So Barcelona, we had a special, small VIP event. Let me show you that. Just a few pictures from that now. Let's see. Let me get the pictures onto my computer. I think I've got a picture of us at dinner, and I think that'll be a good enough. Let me just show you our little meeting, our gathering. Here we go. All right, that's my computer, and this is the photo. Whoops, sorry about that. This is the photo. I think you can see that. All right, so this is a lunch we did in Barcelona. And let me see if I can actually make that a little bigger. I am not sure. Tell you what, this will have to do. Might be a little bit small on your screen. Sorry about that. But you can see, this is us. I'm taking the picture, so I'm not in the picture. But you can see this gathering of people, and these are VIP members. On the left side, in the front, we have Gloria. Gloria Payares, I believe is how she pronounces her last name. She helped us organize this event. She's a local from Barcelona, Spain. So she helped to find a place for us to meet and gather. First, we met at a conference room. We all sat in a big circle, and then we went around the circle, and everyone talked about their story, where they were from, their experience learning English, their experience with Effortless English. Lots of great stories, in fact. And it was great that all of these people from all these different countries telling their story, communicating so confidently with each other in English. And then going around the table, we have Tomoe, my wife, Julia. All of you know Julia, right? Julia is our great VIP member. She is the leader of our Heart team and our Heart Skype group. You can connect with Julia on Twitter. You'll see her online all the time. She's on Periscope now, I'm sure. I know she's watching that. She says thanks right there. And then Jean-Jacques from Montreal, another one of our he's a great ACC member, one of our great VIP members as well. And Tatiana, originally from Russia, now living in Norway with her husband. another great leader of our community. She's put together a conversation group on Skype. I chatted with them about a month ago. Super positive, friendly people. They interviewed me. We had a lot of fun. We had a great time. We had Lulu and Max from Italy. He's on Periscope now as well and watching. Again, just a very enthusiastic, friendly, supportive person. You'll see him on my Twitter. He is 1947 Roswell on Twitter. So, fantastic guy. Joe, my good friend here in San Francisco, he's a teacher at learnrealenglish.com. He was also at this gathering and had a great time. We had Christina and Dominique, who have come to a couple of my events in Barcelona. Wonderful, wonderful people. Mira and her friends, Jean-Jacques' wife, Michelin as well. So just a great time. I want to show you one more picture, just because you might think it's funny. So this is a picture of, it's the Sagrada Familia, which is the big famous church designed by Gaudi. It's probably the number one landmark in Barcelona. And we went up. You can take an elevator and then climb up these stairs and go up into the towers. And you can get great views. On this picture, you see my wife Tomoe and Joe, again, teacher from Learn Real English, and myself. But I don't know if you can tell, probably not. I look okay right there, but I'm quite scared of heights. I used to be terrified of heights. I would not even do this. Now I am just nervous about heights. And when this picture was taken, I was very nervous because this is a little small stone walkway between two towers. And even though there's wire over the top, you can't fall, but still I was very nervous being up on these towers. I don't like heights. I don't like high spaces. All right, I think it's Twitter time, guys. Let's go to Twitter, and I'll answer a couple Twitter questions, then we're going to finish up. Okay, on Twitter, how can I keep vocabulary for a long time and use it in correct sentences? That's a good question. Keeping vocabulary for a long time. As you know, we all know that there are a few different challenges when learning new words. Number one is just learning it the first time, right? Just knowing a new word. Reading is a great way to do that, and using audiobooks. But then the next problem is that we forget the words. We learn them, and then a day later or a week later, phew, they're gone. And then, it's very frustrating, right? Then you try to learn it again, and then it's gone again. So the question here is, how can we get the vocabulary, the new words, to stick, to stay in our minds? And then, of course, the last step is then not only to learn it, but then to remember it enough to use it actively. That's not the question. We'll talk about that another time. How to get it to stick. That's a great question. Here's what you need. First of all, you need repetition. You need to get the word in many different situations. And ideally, you want to connect this word with a sound, with an image, a mental picture, and with a physical movement. So we call this in psychology kinesthetic, meaning your body, right? Visual, meaning right your eyes, and auditory, meaning your ears. So you have the word or the phrase, hopefully a phrase. You want to connect it to these three things so that you remember the meaning forever. How do we do that? Here's a simple technique. I'm trying to think of a word. I don't know. Let's just say the word tape. This is tape. Imagine this is a new word for you. You didn't know it before. Tape. And you need to remember it. You don't want to forget the word tape. How would you do that? Well, so number one, you would, in your mind, create a picture of tape. Right? Maybe you would picture this thing. But here's a tip. A normal picture is easy to forget. So you need to make the picture strange. Right? If it's strange, it's easier to remember. So you would say the word tape, say it out loud, because you need the sound. Tape. And at the same time in your mind, picture this, but not normal. Picture this huge. Maybe picture this the size of the Empire State Building in New York, right? A gigantic, huge piece of tape or roll of tape. Gigantic. And imagine that, make it move, make some action. Imagine that in your picture, you're taping around a huge skyscraper, a gigantic building. That's the image in your mind that you create, right? It's not normal. It's easier to remember because it's strange. This huge piece of tape, and you're wrapping it, putting it around a gigantic, big building. At the same time, you say the word tape out loud while imagining this image. And then you want to make an action. So maybe you make the action of tape, pulling the tape. So you would do this. Or this. It doesn't matter what the action is. You just need to use an action that reminds you of the meaning. But when you do the action, again, make the action big. Not just like, you make big and energetic. So you're picturing it. Imagine you're wrapping this huge building. So you're pulling off the tape. You're wrapping it around a huge building. And at the same time, you say the word tape. Say it loudly with energy and power. Tape! 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 And imagining this big building. All three at the same time. Repeat that 10 times with a lot of energy. Tape! 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 Then repeat it 10 times again. Then repeat it 10 times again. With energy, body movement, a strange mental picture, and saying the word loudly with power. By doing all of those things, you create more connections in your brain to the word, to the meaning and to the word. And in this way, you will remember it faster and you will remember it much longer. You won't forget it. Now, I call this technique action vocabulary. I always use it in my live seminars and my live classes. I will teach a list of new phrases, 5, 6, something like that. And all the class together, we'll do the actions, we'll shout, we'll imagine these crazy images and pictures, and again and again and again. And at the end of doing this, and then I tell a story using the same words, the same phrases, and at the end of all of that, nobody forgets it. They know those words and phrases for life. So that's the key. Let me tell you what does not work. What does not work is you write it in a notebook, tape, and then you write the meaning, and then you just try to memorize it. Tape, 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 tape. That's the old school way, right? What happens? Well, you remember it for maybe 2 days. You take the test, you pass the test, but then 2 weeks later, it's gone, you forget it. So this is a much better way, using the action vocabulary method. All right, let's see if we've got any other questions on Twitter. I might take one more question. All right, let's take a look. What do we got? Okay, we have... having a technology problem. See, I knew this was going to happen. Sorry, guys. There we go. This should be better. Phrasal verbs. Okay. So that should do it. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Can you see it? Yeah, here we go. Can you recommend something how to learn phrasal verbs? How to learn phrasal verbs. First of all, what is a phrasal verb? It's just a 2-word verb, possibly more 3 words. Usually, so for example, I'm trying to think of one now. To get up. To get up. To get up. To get up. You got an extra word there. Up. Get up. There's also a phrasal verb to get down. And they have completely different meanings. To get down. Get down is a little bit of a slang phrase. We use it to mean to be dancing and having a lot of energy and having fun. Wow, he's really getting down on the dance floor. It's slang, right? But that's an example of a phrasal verb. So how do you remember this? But to get up means to wake up. It means you're in bed, you're asleep, and then you get up out of your bed. So how do you learn all of these? Some of them have clear meaning. Like get up, that's a fairly clear meaning. It's very direct. You're getting up. You're moving your body up out of the bed. That's easy to remember. But to get down, meaning to be dancing, and it's kind of a weird slang. How do you remember that? That they're totally different meanings, those two. Well, again, let me tell you first how not to do it. How not to do it is to have a list, right? And to make a list of phrasal verbs, or go online and find a list of phrasal verbs and try to memorize them. You're not going to remember it. You're going to forget it, right? This long list, get up, get down, get across, whatever. You're going to become very confused trying to learn these from a list. And you will just forget most of them. So it's not an effective way. So how do you learn them? You need to learn them from context. It means from real English that you find, from used correctly in real situations. Again, this is because a real context, a real situation, for example, a story, this will give you mental images, mental pictures to help you remember the meaning. So let's imagine you read a story about a guy who loves dancing, and he goes onto the dance floor, and his friends laugh and say, "Oh, look at him, he's really getting down." And then you remember the story, you remember the situation, you remember the friends are laughing at him, you remember that he's dancing, you create a picture in your mind of this crazy guy dancing. You can make the picture very funny. You remember the phrase, getting down, to get down. You can say it out loud. But all of this together will help you remember the phrasal verb because it's coming from something real. You have a picture to help you. You have a whole story that you can remember and connect to the meaning. And you could even do some action vocabulary and like pretend you're dancing. Get down, get down, get down. And that would help you remember also. So that's the way to learn phrasal verbs or idioms or slang or new vocabulary or any phrase at all. Get it from real English as you listen to stories, as you listen to audiobooks, as you listen to my lessons, as you listen to videos. Find the phrasal verbs, find the new vocabulary from these real things, not from just some website or book with a list. So that's my best advice. Okay. So let's just go back for a few minutes and talk about this idea of a contagion, right? It's something that spreads, and especially the idea of a mental contagion. Because we have the physical, right? The lice jump from people's head to head, and that spreads. It's a kind of contagion. We have the bacteria or virus, which is, again, a kind of physical contagion. But we also have mental contagions. Ideas can spread. Emotions and attitudes can spread. Before the Twitter questions, I talked about a lot of negative examples. But here's the good news. Positive ideas, positive attitudes, positive feelings and emotions all can spread as well. So, if you connect with people who are positive and fun and energetic and enthusiastic and motivated, their positive, wonderful, high energy, their strong confidence, their beliefs can start to come into your own mind like a positive contagion. And you will find just being around those people will start making you feel more positive, thinking more positively, feeling more confidently, learning faster, getting better results, having more success. The positive contagion is what we are creating here at Effortless English. That's why I'm so strong and strict about creating our community in a positive way. That's why we have this code. That's why on Periscope I'm very careful about who can comment. It's why we have such a wonderful group, because we can do the opposite. We can create positive contagions so that when new people join our Effortless English family, online, face-to-face, the lessons, whatever, that they start to feel more confident, more happy, more friendly, more motivated, more happy, more energetic, just by being around us, just by watching my videos, just by seeing your comments, just by joining our Skype group, just by becoming a VIP member and talking to other VIP members. That just being around us, just being in our community, in our family, will make people stronger and happier, will help them learn English faster, will help them speak English more confidently, will help them have more success. We are spreading the love, because love can also be a contagion, a very positive one. That's the one we want to spread. That's the one we want going out into the world. In our community, we'll develop it and then we'll spread it to the world. That's why we have the code. Let's talk about the code. I keep talking about the code. Let's review what that is. Here's the code. The Effortless English Code. It's simple. It's just 3 basic principles, ideas. We could call them rules, but I think principles is a better word, that we all agree to follow with each other. Me, you, everybody. Number 1, we do the best we can. We do the best we can. It means we try our best. Are we perfect? Of course not. Do we make mistakes? Yes, of course we will make mistakes. If we cause a problem, then we apologize and we do the best we can to fix it. Just like in this show right now, I'm trying some new technology. Maybe there might be a few problems. I'm doing the best I can. I'll continue trying to improve it so that I can continue helping you learn English. You too, as you learn, you will make mistakes. You will make grammar mistakes. You will make vocabulary mistakes. Just do the best you can. Keep learning. Number 2, we do the right thing. We do not insult each other. We're not rude to each other. It's why we don't talk about politics and religion in our community. And number 3, perhaps the most important of all, we show people we care. We show each other we care. We say positive things to each other. We spread the contagion of love. If someone does well in our community, we congratulate them. We support them. We're not jealous of them. No, we're happy for them. If someone's having a tough time, then we encourage them and help them to feel stronger and more confident. We show each other we care. So important. Continue to spread this contagion of love within our Effortless English family and community, and to everyone you can out there in the rest of the world. There's enough negativity, there are enough trolls, there are enough rude people. Let's be a force for positive change in English, in education, in the world. Thank you so much. As always, for more information or to join one of my courses, go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye for now.